sometimes people don't recognize me unless I start yelling and I get all gripped like this. But even when I'm not like that on the inside, I would have done that if there were no cameras there. Because I was so incensed at what was happening to the state that I loved, the state that gave me the opportunity, the state that gives me the quality of life that I want to raise a family in, and that was violated not just by these policies, by a process where they were willing to vote without us there, where they were willing to bypass every rule, where they were willing to pass things in the middle of the night, to change the rules in progress, and now they're trying to say that the bill is law, even when it's clearly not law. If this is the only way that you can get things done in the state, I think they've got bigger problems than just 500 people showing up here in 15-degree weather. As Mark said, I represent the city of Oshkosh. But I also represent opportunity, fairness, equality, transparency, and accountability. I also represent the right to collectively bargain and fairness in the workplace. Yesterday I spoke to my fourth grade class, the fourth grade where I went to elementary school. And, a lot of teachers were looking at me, thanking me, concerned about the future. They had make a set of decisions in their career because they cared. They wanted to help out. They wanted to, teach the children of tomorrow, and they made decisions for their family to teach in Oshkosh, and they're worried about the future. They're worried about class size. They're worried about additional hours. They're worried about being able to pay the mortgage because the rules have been changed. In midstream by a governor who no longer values what public educators do. Who no longer values that opportunity is the great equalizer out there. It used to be in this country, in this state, that you could be born poor and have the chance to get ahead, with education, with good paying jobs, with people that believed in opportunity for all. And now we've got a governor who's saying, you're on your own. There's not a discussion about we, about about us. And that is what is so refreshing about seeing all of the people here today. Because it's not just about Democrats, it's not just about unions, it's about people who care about the collective good and the collective benefit about all people in Wisconsin. Being a part of this the last few weeks, the reality is it has been amazing and inspiring. And I want to thank all of you on behalf of, the 38 colleagues that we have in the state assembly. Because when we met that first day, we were fired up enough because we knew right from wrong. And I always say, a lot of times it's difficult to talk about issues, or you have people that disagree, or you're not exactly sure where you stand. But this has been one of the hardest fights, but one of the easiest issues to talk about. Because I knew exactly where I stood, I knew exactly what was right, and I knew exactly what was wrong. And there we were, 38 people in a room, and all you could hear was the Capitol booming and shaking, and then thousands of people outside the building giving us all the energy to know that we were right and they were wrong. And then I came back to Oshkosh, and there were people that I've never seen before. Again, not union members, not Democrats, but concerned citizens that have never written a letter, never made a phone call, never stood with a sign on the corner. So if you think it's just, I see a lot of familiar faces here. I see a lot of activists. I've worked with Mark and John and other people that are here and going to speak. But there's a lot of just ordinary citizens that know that this is not how we do things in Wisconsin. They wanted the governor to sit down. We knew we were going to have to fight policies, but when you go after rights, when you go after violating how we've done things in this state, when you turn your back on working families, when you turn your back on the most vulnerable, when you pander and take prank phone calls from the Koch brothers, then you're damn right that I'm going to stand up and fight. And if it's harder to get 38 people to go to Illinois than it is to get 14. But I'll tell you, while we weren't there, if I had my way, I'd be talking on that floor, because I know I got a few more amendments I'd like to talk about and a few more questions that I could bring up. And I can tell you that nothing has been more unifying than this whole effort. And I want you all to know that, if you had any doubts about where this governor stands and the direction that things are going, I don't even think we've seen the worst of it. Remember when you're a kid and you're at a birthday party and someone says something funny and you have spit milk out of your nose or something? Well, I was sitting on the floor listening to the governor's budget address, and he was like, he said the word tools about 30 times, and you can imagine, the only tool that I saw in the room, blah, blah, blah. Well, he was saying school districts actually have more money under my plan, and cities and counties actually have more money due to the tools that I've given them. And I didn't have any birthday cake and milk, but I'm pretty sure I spit the coffee out of my nose. And it would have been funny maybe if, we were writing on a napkin coming up with a pretend budget, but it was the governor of Wisconsin. He was talking about public education. He was talking about opportunity. He was talking about the people who plow my streets and pick up my garbage so I can go to work. It drives me crazy. Shame! 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 It's easier for me when you guys do it. I always get in trouble when I start yelling stuff. Anyway, I want to leave you with what happens now. When I drive to Madison, I turn on conservative talk radio to remind myself to get in touch with Planet Walker and figure out what's going on. And they all call in and they say, oh, you know what, people are going to, a month from now, they'll forget about this, and a year from now.
No way.
I don't know, they said you're all going to go away. Are you guys going away? Are you sure? I heard Glenn Grothman say you're all going to go away. I need every single one of you, and it can't just be you. This is an amazing turnout for a cold day, and remember, this is already 5 weeks later, but it can't go away. Hey, look, I want the economy to recover right now, and I want jobs to come back, and I want people back to work. But what I don't want you to forget is about the investments that we make as a state, the opportunity that we all believe in, the collective good. I think so many people that have been frustrated for years are now becoming involved in something. And, I'm a Democrat, damn right. And I believe in opportunity. And I believe in labor, but I also believe in something bigger and better. And I know all of you do too. And we need to stay involved, and we need to fight this thing because the budget's got a lot of bad things in it. There are going to be hearings around the state, but you need to continue to talk. If you've never written a letter, if you've never made a phone call, if you've never stood on the corner, welcome to democracy. Is this what democracy looks like?
This is what democracy looks like!
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like!
Well, I want to thank you, and I'm going to end on together, united, we will never be divided. Can we hear that one? Together, united, we'll never be divided. Together, united, we'll never be divided. Thank you.